All right, y'all. Draft day is here. The big, somewhat blockbuster trade from yesterday was Teddy Bridgewater to the Denver Broncos for a 6th round pick. Now, this is interesting because the Carolina Panthers, who are picking at number 8 overall, acquired Sam Darnold from the Jets earlier in free agency. Now they've traded Teddy Bridgewater. So are they going to be sticking with Sam Darnold as their QB going into 2021? Or are they going to still try and go after a QB? I think that their pick at number 8 is heavily dependent on what the 49ers do at number 3. And all likelihood, it looks like the Falcons are going to either take Kyle Pitts or possibly Penei Sewell. They really need offensive line help there as well for Matt Ryan. I feel pretty confident that they're going to be sticking with Matt Ryan, although they do need to add quarterbacks to their depth chart. We talked about that. But we've seen a price increase in Teddy Bridgewater since the trade to the Denver Broncos. I definitely think Teddy B's better than Drew Lock. I think he's going to beat out Drew Lock for the starting position. But the Denver Broncos are still drafting that number 9 overall. And this is going to be very interesting to see what they do. They also have a need for linebacker on defense. They also have a need at offensive guard. And they have a need at running back for an aging Melvin Gordon. But at their place in the draft, it's very interesting to see what they're going to do. They may go with Micah Parsons now, the top rated defensive linebacker in the draft, or Patrick Surtain, the top-rated cornerback from Alabama, instead of a QB now. If they're going to roll out Teddy B, I think he's a really good, shout out to Basement Sports Cards on my Instagram. I think he's a really good bridge QB during a restructuring period. Teddy B can really throw the ball well. He's got a good accuracy if you can protect him. I think that bodes well for Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. He's definitely going to be throwing the ball a lot there. So with that, let's see what the Carolina Panthers do now that they're left with only Sam Darnold. We talked about the Dolphins pick at Penei Sewell possibly at number 6, or maybe it's Kyle Pitts if Falcons go Penei Sewell. Or maybe it's Jamar Chase if the Bengals do an offensive tackle there. But I think the Bengals are going to make that splash play. That's kind of their style. And I think regardless of what happens to the Dolphins in the draft tonight, I think you're going to see a big benefit to Tua Tagovailoa's rookie cards. Without further ado, let's continue down the list and talk about the depth chart on these other teams. We left off at the Panthers. So let's talk about the Broncos at number 9. And we just mentioned that they have a need for quarterback, and they picked up Teddy Bridgewater. I think that's an excellent bridge position. So now they could go with the offensive tackle, Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern. I mean, dude, this is a big boy. He is, some people are even rating him ahead of Penei Sewell out of Oregon. So this is huge. I mean, this could be a huge pickup. I know that other teams are targeting him as well, but the Broncos certainly are going to need the protection for Teddy B. If they don't do that, maybe they go and select a defensive player at this point. Let's look at Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton prices. Two guys that I feel very good about investing in. Courtland Sutton, he's a clear alpha in that offense. Also Jerry Jeudy, also Noah Fant, who's a powerhouse tight end, and Melvin Gordon's aging. I would stay away from that situation. They traded Phillip Lindsay to the Texans. The running back situation's up in the air right now in Denver. I'm not touching that at all. But with Teddy B going there, I really like this for Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Noah Fant. So let's see what their rookie cards are doing on Starstock and what opportunities exist. Let's dig in. Shot of the different cards you have recently, not too long ago. I think we may be in the game. We've actually somehow figured out, pulled enough cables, smashed some stuff around to where my microphone is recording while I'm sharing my screen, and you're not sounded like I'm in like some kind of warp tunnel. Sweet baby Jesus. All right, let's try and check this out. I want to look at Teddy Bridgewater, who's the newest Denver Broncos QB, real quick. See what kind of movement we've had on his rookie card since the big trade yesterday. And check this out. Trades galore. Thursday 29th. You see he's going up, guys. He's going up. Hype is there. If you got some Teddy Bridgewaters you bought last year, last summer, or maybe later at the end of the year, good time to go ahead and sell, capture on this hype. It's probably going to be hype. I would go ahead and sell now if you could take double, triple your money. Go ahead and sell now. Take those profits and roll those over into something else. Buy low here in the summer. I wouldn't try and stretch it out too far, to be honest with you guys. Let's look at his Topps Chrome right here at 18.28. And we got a trend upward. What's purchases? We got any purchases? Starstock Beach for 2. People are taking some very small gambles, but we're seeing movement on his card nonetheless. If you could double, triple your money today, tonight, this weekend, go ahead and take it, guys. Go ahead and take it, because who knows? They could end up going for a quarterback in the draft tonight, or they could go defense, in which case Teddy Bridgewater cards are going to go up probably even more into the beginning of the season. And so I listed my Teddy Bridgewaters on eBay, the ones that I had. Depth chart of the Denver Broncos. Nice 57 pass to run ratio. Melvin Gordon, Royce Freeman, Mike Boone. I'm not touching any of the running backs right now, but I am investing in Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy if I can find the prices right. These guys, great athletes, love them. You got Cortland Sutton here, a 2018 rookie, and Jerry Jeudy, a 2020 rookie. But looking at Cortland Sutton's profile, he had the injury last year, which is unfortunate. Best comparable player, athletic, college pro metrics, Alshon Jeffrey, but I like 6'3", 218, big hands. Early in the second day from SMU there. I like the big speed score, the catch radius, the agility, and solid college metrics. And you're not going to see a whole lot from last year because he missed most of the season with the ACL and MCL tear. But this guy, when healthy, is going to be the alpha in that Denver offense. And let's see what his cards are doing on the Starstock marketplace. Cortland Sutton. Let's see his Prism trading around $16. Base Donruss trading around $3. The Select is trading around 15 to 20. Well, that's opportunity for the Prism then. The Optic around 7 to 12.50. This right here, if this base Concourse is trading around 15 to 20, then this Premier, which is a shorter print run card, needs to go up. So this is an investment opportunity right here, guys. 12 in the vault, 3 for sale from 13. Let's click that buy or offer button and see what they got. 13, 15. I'd grab both of those guys. Let me see if I got any money. I got $19, so I'll go ahead and take that $13 one, and then I'll go ahead and immediately relist it for $29.99. Go ahead and have it listed. And I think that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that when you look at the prices of his other cards. I like that Premier. And Starstock A, this is his Prism chart. You can see it's on its way back up. But if we look at the hype from the beginning of last season, September, you're looking at $25. And it didn't last long because he did get hurt very early on. But it's going to get back there, especially with Teddy Bridgewater now slinging the rock, hopefully, in Denver this year. I really like that for Cortland Sutton. So look out for opportunities on him. In that $10 price point, I think we could see that double, triple for sure. And then Jerry Jeudy, definitely on him as well. I'm going to go ahead and look at him and see where his price points are at. The base Donruss at 325, 374. The Mosaic at 5. The Prism at 14. That's not bad. They must be on their way up. That's going to be my guess here. Yeah, they kind of have gone all over the place here, but we definitely see some transactions. Look at the transactions from yesterday on the news of Teddy Bridgewater. 18, 1450, 1450, 14.3. I think you're going to continue to see this kind of activity on him now and heading into the season. Teddy Bridgewater is a much more accurate quarterback than Drew Lock, and with some protection, maybe Denver goes offensive guard. Maybe they get Rashawn Slater, or maybe Penny Sewell slides to them, in the number 9 slot. I think that would bode really well for Teddy B, and then that would in turn affect Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy in a very positive manner. So that's my take on the Denver Broncos. That's where I'm at. Let's move on to the Cowboys. The Cowboys, let's go ahead and stay in this mode because the Cowboys have they have a big need for defensive player here, right? And definitely in the secondary, they let so many big plays go in 2020. They allowed so many points to opposing offenses, and yeah, their offense is high powered, so other offenses are forced to kind of keep up with them, and they're going to put up points, especially with Dak coming back, and of course they got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard at running back. But let's talk about them for a second. You guys are going to see some Cowboys cards, some pretty nice Cowboys cards coming up in future mail days from me. Let's just say that, all right? Let's look at their depth chart, and I'll show you the guys that I like. And, as we know, Ezekiel Elliott was a big bust from last year. Dak Prescott's coming back. I'm curious to see what his cards are done. They probably have gone up, if anything. I know they've had to gone up because he was an MVP candidate in 2019, and then unfortunate that his ankle snapped on that play last year. But you compare his prices to the Carson Wentz or the Jared Goff from 2016. Man, with the prices of what Carson Wentz's cards are currently at in Indianapolis, I like investing in Dak better for sure. Looking at these, this is the optic at 100. This is the base Donruss at 60. Yeah, man, that's really good right here. PSA 10 at 750. PSA 9s at 300. Starstock A's at 300. And that chart is just kind of not a whole lot of activity because he is a 2016 rookie, and all his base prisms in that year are highly coveted because they are silvers. And one thing I like about the Cowboys is right off the bat, they're America's team. They're arguably the most popular team in the NFL, just based on the size of their fan base and the fact that they've been coined America's team since 1979. And so when I look at their skill positions, I'm really like, whenever I see guys like CeeDee Lamb or Tony Pollard, I think Tony Pollard's a great all-purpose running back. I would love to see them trade Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard become the starter. I think Tony Pollard's great, and his cards trade at a fraction of what Ezekiel Elliott does. And I really like some of the things that he does well. Look at his college yards per carry, 7.1, 92nd percentile. Look at his college target share, 95th percentile, 15.5. That shows you he's got very good skills in both the running game and in the passing game. Now, his BMI, his body mass index, is not as big. He's not as thick as some of the other guys, 6 foot 210. But he is elusive, guys. He is elusive. He's pretty fast. I really like what he's done whenever he's got a full start. So, for example, like this game against San Francisco right there, he had 31 fantasy points, 12 carries, 3 red zone, 28 routes run, 9 receptions, 2 red zone, or 9 targets, 2 red zone, which turned into 6 receptions for 132 total yards and 2 touchdowns. So he had 3 really good years at Memphis as well. Tony Pollard has avoided the injury bug. Let's see what Ezekiel, another 2016 rookie. His cards have slid all the way down to around $8 to $10 for a base rated rookie. And that's where he's at, guys. So If you think Zeke is going to have a bounce back down a year this year, they're definitely depressed his prices, and you can certainly pick up some of those, which that may be a move. I mean, you're talking this guy's prices. Let's look at what his Prism is at. But see, his Prism is still going to be very well elevated because of the scarcity and the fact that all those bases are silvers. But look at the price of his Select, and this card is just fine, or even his Select Silver if you want to go there, and compare that to the. I don't have any on here, or the Hollows. So yeah, and for that Prism, his cards are going to be very well elevated. But he's also approaching the age apex, guys. And you look at Tony Pollard, and Tony Pollard's only 24 years old. And at some point, Ezekiel Elliott, if he has another year like last year, that is not going to bode well for him. They're going to be looking at trading him because he's also quite a burden on their salary cap. And if he's going to continue to have butterfingers and continue to be unproductive in that offense, then they're going to turn to Tony Pollard, who's looked nothing but spectacular in that offense. And with his optics trading at the latest sale of 280, no brainer. His Select Concourse trading at a fraction of what Zeke's are, and he's a 2019 rookie, which means he's got a lot more time left, and he's still on that rookie contract. So I could definitely see them moving on from Ezekiel Elliott, which would be amazing, and go ahead and giving Tony Pollard that nod. You can get his optic hollows for $15. You can get his silver prisms for $25-$30. You can get his silver field levels, and you could probably find deals on this guy on eBay and Beckett Marketplace. Right now, he's still considered a sleeper behind Ezekiel Elliott on that depth chart, but he's on America's team. He's young. He's explosive. He's elusive. He's all-purpose. He reminds me kind of Aaron Jones, and I like that. I like that a lot. And let's go back to the Dallas depth chart and move on from running back and talk about wide receivers. And they actually have Michael Gallup, and with Dak behind center, Michael Gallup is going to be a nice deep threat there, as well as Amari Cooper. I basically look at these three guys as almost interchangeable in that offense, except for CeeDee Lamb is more of that slot guy. He's more of that X factor. And he's a 2020 rookie, best comparable to Jerry Rice based on college and pro metrics and workout metrics and athletic profile. But Amari Cooper is a big dude. I really like Amari Cooper's profile, 6'1", 211, big hands, only 26, 27 years old, and he's got a really good speed score. And from Alabama, 4th pick overall in the draft. Expect to see some Tony Pollard and Amari Cooper coming in future mail days. And guys, when you can get his Prism for, and I've got one, you can get his Prism for $10 right now. I would definitely be getting on that. You look at what his prices were in the beginning of the season at $20, and they would have kept climbing if it hadn't been for Dak Prescott getting hurt. I still think Amari Cooper is going to be the alpha in that offense alongside of Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. And I think that Dak Prescott is good enough of a quarterback to feed all three of these guys. We saw in 2019 he was able to feed Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and the tight end and the running back in that offense. It was so high powered, and I think it's going to get back to that with the popularity and the fan base there. Definitely want to look at that. They're going to improve their defense for sure. And then the Giants, previous projected pick was Devonta Smith, but the Giants acquired Kenny Golladay from free agency, which was an interesting pickup. I want to see what the Giants depth chart now looks like. Now Mike Glennon, the giraffe there, 64% shotgun, 58% pass to run ratio. Daniel Jones, we know, is going to be the clear number one. I've already doubled, maybe even more, close to triple now my money on Daniel Jones, buying him in December, January, February. based on the fact that I knew he had a top 10 deep ball completion percentage and there was nowhere for him to go but up in terms of his rookie card value. And I knew they were going to pick up some skill position. Saquon Barkley looks to be on track to start week 1, recovery from his ACL, which is good. Kenny Galladay is now going to be their number 1 there. They picked up John Ross. Okay. Darius Slayton. All right. Sterling Shepard. All right. It's consistent. Tight end, they got Evan Ingram. I like his athletic profile. He struggled with injuries in the past. They pick up the old man Kyle Rudolph. It'll be interesting to see what the Giants do in the draft here, because, like I said, there's some teams that are looking to trade up. They definitely need the help on their defense. Micah Parsons, linebacker there out of Penn State, is really good. So they could certainly use that help, and super fast. So that's like a Devin White style speed there. And we go over to Daniel Jones. I don't know what I did, but this is exciting that I've got some good audio while sharing my screen. This is a big struggle I was having. But we're going to wrap it up after this Giants analysis, because I think hype is going to continue to increase for Daniel Jones for the remainder of this offseason. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft tonight, whether they pick another weapon. I think they would really benefit from that. We may see that if Micah Parsons goes earlier, or if maybe one of those other offensive unicorns slide. I mean, Devonta Smith weighed in at 166. Is he really an offensive unicorn weapon? I'm not sold on that, guys, to be honest with you. I'm not sold on it. And like I said, close to triple my money on Daniel Jones. But what I'm seeing here on Starstock is very interesting. When I open his Prism, I see that there's actually quite a few PSA 10s in the vault. I've got a PSA 9 listed at 85. Not getting any bites on that. And it's interesting because when I look at the chart, I see some activity yesterday on his PSA 10. Thursday, last week, PSA 10, PSA 10. I'm seeing some activity, PSA 9s, PSA 9, 74, 73. So there's definitely a lot of activity happening for Daniel Jones right now, but it's kind of flattened out here. And that's interesting. That's interesting. Something to monitor. If you took your profits, that was good. I took some profits, especially on here, where you look at my activity and look at my sold, and then type in Daniel Jones. Definitely took some profits. 18 to 35, 15 to 30, 20, 23 to 50. And I've got a nice little stack of slabs here that I'm basically holding until August rolls around. I would love to see them draft another offensive skill position weapon. But nonetheless, New York Giants, that's a big market, guys. It's another big market. A lot of fan there, the G-Men. There's going to be hype around him. Let's go ahead and take a look at Kenny Galladay, see what he's doing. I know I've got some stock in Galladay as well. And let's see what he's done since being traded to the... And that's my listing at $39.99. Is my listing the next one up? No, there's one for $34.74. And I've got two of them. Starstock A Prisms. Let's see what they're doing. Starstock A's, though, are selling just last Friday for $13. Not a whole lot of activity. Not a whole lot of activity. You can see they've actually trended down. Someone accepted a sale recently. I think we're going to kind of see this, man. We're seeing some dip. It's not all just hype. Upward prices on all these guys anymore, and some of this hype is starting to wear off, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Giants in the draft. But that's kind of where I'm focusing my money for the Giants, and I'm not, and definitely if Kenny Galladay prices go down low enough, I absolutely will buy some more of him. Let's look at what Saquon's doing. There was news that came out yesterday that he is on track with his ACL recovery to start week 1. Let's look at his Prism, a 2018 Prism base. 9 in the vault, 0 for sale, latest sale 43. The PSA 9. Let's look at the chart, see what we can see. May have to pop over to a more common card to get a better idea of what this thing is doing. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of activity, but we do see some upward trend here, especially on the B. And I think you'll see that on these elite athletes where the B's on here are just trading at so much lower, 3-4 times lower than what the A's are. Just like if a PSA 9 is trading that much lower than a 10, just makes so much sense to go ahead and get that based on the minuscule differences. Oh, I wanted to go back to Saquon. Appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed all this content this week. May or may not, I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to be live tonight. I'd love to go ahead and do that, but I have not talked to the wife about it yet, and certainly want to be watching the draft, so it makes sense. I don't think it'll be a problem, but don't hold me to it. Please don't hold me to it. I have not even set it up yet. I need to create a thumbnail and set up the landing page. So I think it's a great idea, and if I'm watching the draft, I might as well do it anyways. Let's look at something more common here. Maybe, yeah, it's gonna have to be this base Donruss. But at the very least, I'm gonna do another video tomorrow morning, and after what happens tonight. Man, look at that PSA 10 chart from trend upwards. People haven't lost faith in him yet. Definitely not back. Almost though. I mean, you can see. Let's turn these off. Turn this one back on. Even turn this off. Turn the ungraded off. Turn the C's off. The A's. Just want to see the A's. And you can see that in peak hype, he was at $20 for the A. And right now, it's at 15, 16. So I think it'll get back there. That's not a whole lot of profit to be made, though. We're going to need to see some good performance out of Saquon for a little while before people start jumping back in at these elevated price points on him as a running back, just like Christian McCaffrey. The injury concerns are real, and these guys are not first-year rookies. Saquon's still very young, though, so he's got a lot of time left. And that's really where I'm looking right now for the New York Giants. When you look past them, you've got one of my favorites in favorite teams in the Eagles, because I really love Jalen Hurts, and there's rumors that they're not sold on him as the starting quarterback. That's a bunch of hogwash, in my opinion. They're definitely sold on him as the starting quarterback, and I feel no doubt that Jalen Hurts will be the starting quarterback come week 1. In fact, I think the Eagles are a prime candidate to pick up Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle or maybe Terrace Marshall in the draft, and or a defensive player. They definitely need the help. Their previous pick was Jamar Chase, but they pick acquired from the Dolphins via 49ers. They traded back now. Yeah, they moved back from number 7 because the Eagles expected the Bengals to select Chase, and that was really who they were after. So wide receiver needs to be a priority for Philly. Cornerback should be just as high on the list for sure. And J.C. Horn out of South Carolina is a solid candidate there. And when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles depth chart, I really like Miles Sanders. If you can find good cheap prices under 10 or under on him. Jalen Hurts, if his prices are dipped down, that's a guy that I'm going to continue to buy all offseason. Smash that buy button on him over Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua if his prices are lower than theirs, because Philly is one of the biggest fan bases, biggest markets in the NFL, along with these other teams we're talking about. And if his card prices dip down like this, you see where they were up to 37 on March 5th, and they just kind of slid. Well, if they continue to slide in May, June, then that's a clear indication to me to buy, because I think by the end of next season, he could be an MVP candidate, and a lot of other very knowledgeable, more experienced fantasy and analysts and experts than myself are saying the same thing. And so you got to listen to that. And I think it's very smart. I mean, let's see what his A's are trading at. $70, trading at half. I mean, so this is a guy that I really be looking on eBay, trying to pick up some selects, trying to pick up some optic hollows, some base optics, some prisms for cheap throughout the off season that people aren't buying. Hey, that's great, man, because I can definitely see those cards going back up over 100 big time at some point, heading into the season or throughout the season. He's a guy I'm absolutely fine with holding long term, and I love his prospect and his profile and what he brings to the table there in Philadelphia. Would love to see them go ahead and draft another offensive weapon. So with that, let's go ahead and cut it there. Of course, looking at the Philadelphia depth chart, look for Miles Sanders prices. Definitely go ahead and invest in him. He's still a young guy. He's still only 24 years old. Good prospect there. Like I said, 10 or under on his premium base rookie cards. Go ahead and grab them, guys. Those are going to go up. Jalen Reagor is another guy. Go ahead. If you're finding 10 or under prices on him as well, comparable to Christian Kirk, that's a breakout candidate written all over it right here. 2020 rookie, 5'11", 206. High draft capital out of TCU. Go after it, guys, if you can find those prices. So I guess we're already here. Let's real quick see if we can do just an overview on Miles Sanders, and then I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. It's been a blast. Hope you guys enjoy the draft tonight. It should be fun. I can't wait. I think maybe a good thing I'll do is maybe go live after the first pick is announced, after Trevor Lawrence is announced. Maybe then go live and get ready for that big pick at number 3, 2, and 3. We can have a good laugh at what the Jets do. And Miles Sanders at 250 on the base Donruss, at 660. If people are going to take those deals on that base Prism at 660, that's a smash button. $4 on his base optic, that's a smash button. I like it. Latest sale 50 cents on his canvas, that's a smash buy button. $9.50 on his Premier Select. That's interesting that's higher than his base Prism, so check that out. But the 6 for sale from 12, there's more scarcity around the Select than the Prism, so that's a buying opportunity right there. And then, look at this, a field level Select for 25, that's a buy definitely. And a field level silver from $29.99. Maybe you put a $25 in on this card and get that. That's a huge win. That's a very short print card. I love that right there. Definitely buying opportunities there. And then I believe that you're going to find Jalen Reagor. I also love the name correlation there with Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor, potentially drafting Jalen Waddle. So with that, guys, you see these trading at 6:30. I got to take this phone call. I'll catch you guys later tonight, tomorrow morning. Peace.